And the Olympics have been tough here, of course, because there was the death of the Georgian luger, at the very beginning. And that's not the same sport as you, but it's similar. Has that affected your team at all and yourself?
I don't know how it couldn't really, I don't know if it'll affect what I do as an athlete, is what I'm doing, but as believers, you think about your mortality and how the hope that we have, and that Christ died for us, and that we're saved, and that our mortality isn't a bad thing. So it's sort of mixed emotions, but it was a horrible event, and lots of people were pretty shaken up about it. But one of the chaplains I have in the village, he's an older fella, and only older people are so wise, And he's I bet you he's got to be in his late 70s. He's an American. He's from Boston, named Bob. He had a great point. That Georgian kid, he had a moment of silence where 3 billion people were taking part of it when it was at the opening ceremonies, and they had that minute of silence. And I don't know if that's ever really happened in the history of the world, where with TV, everybody had a moment of silence, and they thought of their higher power. You know what I mean? Everybody had everybody said a prayer. And if something special doesn't come out of that, I'd be very surprised.
And you mentioned that as a person of faith, it sounds like you've somehow wrestled to peace a little bit with your own mortality. There are risks in the sport that you're in. Tell me how your faith maybe helps you in your sport or impacts your sport.
It's a big part. Sport is just a sort of microcosm of life. And there's anxieties and stresses. And I'm stressed out. I get stressed out just like how you do when you're late for work, when I'm late to get to the track. And when I'm stressed out, I also have the guys behind me that are counting on me to drive them down to the bottom of the track safely. And it's just, which adds to the anxiety, but, I know that I can, bring my stresses, my anxieties, all my requests, I can bring them to God, right? And that, that supernatural peace that God can give you, knowing that you're redeemed, is just, I don't know how to explain it. It's like an unfair advantage, I think, to be honest with you. But I just keep thinking of that Philippians 4, Philippians 4, 6 and 7. Be anxious for nothing, but in all things, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. That just kind of sums it up. That peace of God, how it can, when you go into an event and you have that peace, that you're in God's hands, and that what happens, your mortality is taken care of. He's got a plan for you. Your future's taken care of. And it just helps you, I think, compete with a clear mind. You have your place in the world, and I think that you do better when you're just yourself. You're not full of unnatural feelings. You're just yourself. You're clear, and I think that it really helps me a lot, especially as a pilot.
And psychology is a big part of sport, isn't it? I mean, it's not just about your athletic ability. It's actually about your ability to control your anxiety and focus on all of those kinds of things. And I know that you start, at least it's rumored that you start with a prayer every time before you go down with your team members. How does that go over with people who may not share your faith?
They love it. they like, I've had atheists on my crew over the years, and you know how the saying, there's no atheists in a foxhole. There's not really any atheists at the top of a bobsled run either. They'll remind me when I might be doing something, and they're like, Rush, we're up right away. Let's do the prayer. And I think it's a great witness. I love it that I have that opportunity to lead these guys, and then in the prayer, you just you can give thanks, and everybody, whenever you give thanks, it just sort of develops joy and chemistry amongst the team, and it sets even if they're a believer or not, you know what I mean? They kind of, when you think about the big picture, you think about your place in the world, and your little event isn't so important, and everybody's just clear, and it just really sets the tone to perform well.
Now you're getting ready to start competing this weekend. How do you prepare yourself mentally and spiritually for something like the Olympics? This is your first Olympics, right?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, I have a chaplain, in Calgary. Steve Sellers is his name, and we met all summer long. And one of the big things that he tried to pound in, and I think made a lot of sense, is as an Olympian, you want to peak physically for your event, right? And you want to peak, mentally. You want to be in the right place. But I think it's so important to peak spiritually as well, because it's just a big part of my life. And one of the real pleasant surprises about this Olympic Games is being in the village. There's a multi-faith center, and there's 5 chaplains in there, and we have a Bible study every night at 8 o'clock, and it's just been such a blessing. And I really feel like I'm peaked spiritually, and everything's where it should be. And when you're spiritually on track, everything else sort of comes in line too. It doesn't really matter how you physically feel; you can still perform well. Like that, I won a gold medal when I was up the next day.
When you were sick, right? You were sick all night till 3 a.m. and you still won a gold medal.
And the prayer that day was, God, I got nothing. Lift me up, and he did. And I was really assured that I was going to have a good race, because I just knew that I just was in God's hands that day, because I had nothing. I do my warm up. I had to go to I had to run to the bathroom, and I don't need to go any further, but like 3 times during my warm up, and I was just real tired and real flat. But it didn't matter how I felt. I knew I was going to perform well, because I just had faith that God was there for me, and he was, and we won a gold medal. It was a great day.
Well, we are cheering you on to win the gold, and I know that's what you're anticipating. If you don't win, and we don't even want to talk about that eventuality, but if you don't win, have you prepped yourself for both possibilities, or are you just I'm gonna win? How do you prepare?
Sure, it comes down to executing on the day, right? I think that if we execute, we can win, but I might not. I'm gonna do my best, and you know what I mean. I'm gonna wherever I finish, and it's God's plan, and I'm going to give God the glory for whatever happens. I may crash in the notorious 50-50 corner.
No.
Who knows, right? But I'll be mad, but I'll get over it, right? You know what I mean? And I'll thank the Lord for whatever happens, and it's another bobsleigh race, and I feel really fortunate that I get to do this. It's a lot of fun. It's sort of neat how it's given me a platform. I've had a platform to tell people about my faith, and I didn't know how it was going to work out when I started, but it's been really neat.
And you've been really vocal about it too. A lot of people keep it kind of personal. It's the Canadian way in some ways. Mm-hmm. How come you've been so vocal about it?
It's because it's me. If a reporter asks me about me, then I'm not going to lie to them. I just tell them about me, and the essence of me is my faith. That's the most important part of my life. So if you want to know about me, then I'll tell you about my faith.
That's awesome. Well, so happy to talk to you. So proud of you for representing Canada and, Christianity and God in such a great way. We'll be cheering you on.
Thanks.